Welcome to Get Organized at Work. I'm your host, Kayla Fahey-Ahrndt, healthcare leader, mom of three, and your go-to guide for ditching the chaos and taking control of your workday. This is the show where we turn overwhelming to-do lists into clear, actionable plans so you can crush your goals and show up as your best self at work and in your life. Whether you're here for strategies to stay ahead or systems to simplify your workday, you're in the right place. Let's get organized, have some fun, and make this year your best year in your career yet. Let's dive in. Hello. Welcome back to Get Organized at Work. I'm Kayla. I'm your host. And today we're going to be talking about soft systems, organizing for a softer, less hectic work life. So if you haven't noticed, some of these episodes are very summer themed. It's where we can slow down and enjoy, but we still have to get our work done. And when it comes to work, having systems and routines and habits, ways to organize ourselves, that's what allows us to take a step back from all the hustle culture and really just be in the present moment and enjoy our life, like our whole life, not just our work, not just our home life, but all of it, our family, the fun things we have scheduled for this summer. Just kind of relax a little bit, let out that sigh of like, okay, it's summer. Let's just enjoy this time before maybe we're stuck indoors, the hustle and bustle of the holiday comes, the weather shifts, and all of that. So that's what I want to talk about today, the idea of being organized and living this quote unquote soft life philosophy. And I don't know if I'm a fan of the term soft life. If you haven't heard of it, it's cool because I just stumbled upon it while I was checking Pinterest. Almost every season or quarter, I do a vision or mood board for like, what's the next version of Kayla? Like, what do I want this next season to be? What do I want to focus on? And I find inspiration on Pinterest. And I stumbled across this article and it mentioned the term soft life. And I was like, I don't know what this is. So I Googled it, and Google AI says soft life generally refers to a lifestyle characterized by comfort, ease, and minimal stress, prioritizing well-being and enjoyment over constant struggle and hardship. And I was like that. I really like that. But when you dig further into it, there's two meanings that people take from it. One interpretation is thinking about it in terms of a life of luxury and leisure without hard work, which some people criticize because it's like, yes, not everything in life has to be hard or come to you hard, but putting in work and hard work and diligence and all of that, like that's important. And so having luxury without really trying for it or even, earning it in some fashions has been frowned upon. That's not the best way to think about soft life. The other way that people think about it is soft life trend emphasizing intentionality, self-care, and slowing down to appreciate the simple joys of life. And that's how I like to think about it, just simplifying life in general. Like, how can I create systems to be efficient, get whatever I need to get done, the right things done, and be intentional about what things I'm getting done without burning out, right? Without spinning my wheels and feeling like, oh, I'm not doing anything, I'm not good enough, all of that. And so I just thought this concept was really interesting and just perfectly described what I'm attempting to get out of my life, which is make it simple, fun, and create ease. Really this flow of the day, the weeks and the months for my family and in my work. And it kind of coincided with this other thing I saw on Instagram or maybe YouTube. If you ever follow Advice with Erin, she's great. And I don't know if she got this idea from someone else, but she showed a picture of where she was holding up a tomato and she was like, okay, imagine this is called the sandwich theory. So it's like, imagine you have this tomato every day for lunch, you have a tomato and it's a different tomato every day, but nonetheless, it's the same, it's a tomato every day, same meal every day. She's like, if that's all you have every day, your day or how good your lunch is revolves around just this one thing. So one day it's perfect. It tastes beautiful. It's crisp. It's exactly how you like it. The next day it's too juicy, too soggy. Maybe it's spoiled a little bit. Maybe it's rotten and your whole day is ruined. Your whole life or your whole day becomes kind of hanging on how good is this tomato? But then if you make a sandwich and you add some cheese and some lettuce and some bread, it doesn't really matter how the tomato is so much because all the ingredients together make a good sandwich. And even if the bread's off a little bit one day, or even if the lettuce is not perfect, like it's probably a pretty good sandwich day to day because it has all these different components and it's not just relying on one. And so her point was that if your whole life or your whole day is dependent just on your work, right? Like you basically just live and breathe and die by your work. And that's the only thing that basically you get to frame your energy on. That's going to be really tough because some days are not going to be great. Some days are going to be awesome. And it's just going to be dependent on that one thing. And the idea is if you add other things into the mix of the things you care about, the things you do, the things you spend time on, like hobbies, right? Family time, time with friends, just things that you love and enjoy doing, that's going to round out your day. And it doesn't matter if you have a bad day at work, but because you can still enjoy a hobby, you can still escape and read a book, you can still have family time and disconnect from work when you're not working. And so when I think about this soft life trend, it definitely makes me think of like not everything needs to revolve around work. And I see so many people who get burnt out because they work long hours to make up for not being as productive as they like. And that's kind of a spiral because when you are in that constant, I guess, cycle, it's really hard to get out of it. So when I think about this idea of the soft life and then having other things in your life beyond just the tomato, just work, I really think about like the rejection of hustle centric culture that I feel like my peers have had over the last few years. Millennials, Gen Z, and then even other generations are, combating the hustle centric culture. So what I want to share with you today is how can you bring in some of these soft, gentle rituals, pieces of your life into your workday or outside of your workday so they can just like enjoy your life in general. And it's not just around the work and the hustle and the getting organized. And in fact, getting organized, setting systems, having work habits that actually reduces the rush, the craziness, the hecticness, the last minuteness, and it sets and creates your work in a sustainable pace for you. Your systems at work, what we do here at Get Organized at Work, can help you have this lightness, this softness in your life. And you see people, having these crazy morning routines or like 11 steps or something, or they have this insane habit tracker, this insane project, list, right, at work. And you're like, how are they doing that? And not all of those systems are going to work for everybody. The important thing is you have to find a routine or a project list or a system that works for you and helps create ease for you. And so I give all these ideas of how to get organized at work, but you get to take that and adapt it for you, which I think is so cool. So now that we've talked about, on this podcast, we talk about all these different ways to get organized. So I'm not going to go into all these other ways or these ways to get organized. I'm really going to talk about how to bring in this shift, to have this softness, this lightness into your day and into work, and incorporate those while using your systems, and how that just creates so much ease for you to enjoy the summer and just have you outside of work. So let's just talk about a couple areas. So I referenced morning routines. Number one, let's talk about morning systems for a soft start. You see people online baking bread, they're doing their sourdough, and you're like, what is this trad wife, trend? And if you're listening to this, you're probably not doing that trend, but you might be baking bread. And why do you do it? Because it is a gentle ritual for you. It's something that fills your spirit, makes you happy. It creates this cozy ambiance. That's amazing. So pick something before you start your workday that can help you create that soft start, ease into the day, or hit the ground running in a way that feels good for you. What is your ritual? Is it going for your morning run? Is it prepping your favorite foods for work? Is it doing that reading? Is it that meditation? If you're working from home, is it creating that cozy space for yourself? What is that morning sweet spot that helps you feel really present in the day? The second thing that we can talk about is looking at your workspace system and environment. So do you have a environment that makes you feel peaceful, So think about, can you declutter your space? Can you add some life, like some plants? Yes, I went through my millennial houseplant phase. It's wonderful. I still have plenty. Add a spider plant, add a snake plant, maybe a pothos. These are all air filtering plants. They're great for the environment. Add a candle, even if you can't light it at work, it's going to create that ambiance. Personalize your space. I don't know how many people at work I work with that don't have like pictures of their family or anything hanging up. If you're going to sit at your desk all day, you might as well make it feel like you. I would used to have an office where I would hang up different gifts that different leaders that visited me gifted me. And I would think about those times and it inspired me to keep going. What inspires you? How can you have a clean, systemized space that helps your brain flow well, that doesn't make you fatigued to sit there? The next area you can think about is your remote or your hybrid rhythm. So if you used to commute or you do commute, use that time for podcasts or personal development or calm music. Or that could be when you do your meditation. So if you don't commute anymore, you get extra time at home. Use this time for yourself. You don't have to jump into work early. You don't have to uh just get online right away. Like use this time to fill your cup and fuel your soul. And if you're commuting, this is your growth and development time. Instead of being, upset about the traffic or leaving at the last minute, leave with enough time and put on your favorite music or a podcast and really take that time to invite the lightness and boost your mood on the way to work. The next area we can think of are boundaries. So we talk about boundaries a lot on this podcast, but how can you think about physically and mentally clocking out of work and avoiding after hour responses? I mean, this is just the biggest boundary I can tell you. If you want to enjoy a full life, that means that you need to, at some point, turn your brain off from thinking about work and shifting it to thinking about something else that you care about. This is not a bad thing. This is saying, like, I am me here and I am me there and I'm me over here. And I can't be work me all the time. I need to have a little bit of space so that when it's time to work, I'm excited to come back to it. I have two more areas for you that I think are some of the biggest, most helpful ones. The first one is creating micro self-care systems in your day. And honestly, it doesn't have to be face mask, getting your nails done. What it can be is taking short breaks that are mindful. So if you want to take good care of yourself, fuel yourself. So take a step away from your desk, especially in summer. Find a space outside if you can and eat and actually enjoy your food. And this is something that I've actually been allowing myself to eat out a little bit more in the summer to say, hey, I know in the winter I'm very good about making meals and stews and crock pots and things like that. In summer, it's a little bit more grab and go. We have planned meals for the family, but sometimes I just want to go grab something that feels good in that moment for me. And that's great. I get out on a walk, I go buy something, I go sit outside and enjoy it. Be mindful, fuel yourself, take short breaks. And if you need to, you can even do the Pomodoro technique, which is setting a timer for, let's say, 25 minutes or 50 minutes and taking that 5-minute break in between. Make yourself a good cup of coffee or tea and just be present. Enjoy the sounds and the smells of the act of doing that. Get yourself a wonderful coffee maker. Almost 2 years ago, I invested in an espresso thinking, oh my gosh, this is so outlandish, but I got it on sale during Black Friday on Amazon. It is the best investment I've ever made. The Nespresso is next level. It makes the coffee so that it's basically frothed when it's made. It's super high quality. I got the milk frother. I have different simple syrups that I add and cinnamon and turmeric to my coffee and my tea. It is amazing. And I just enjoy making that coffee every day. I save so much money on coffee because I just make it at home. And it's like this little luxury that feels like very attainable, yet like so high end for me. And that is a wonderful break that I can do right before a meeting to reset my energy when I need to. And then the last tip that I will share with you is using your weekends super intentionally. So some of us don't always get a huge break. If you have kids, you know the weekends can seem crazy. Or if you have family you need to visit, you're driving around all the time. I want to remind you, it is okay, even in summer, to rest and focus on what's meaningful, like maybe building relationships with your spouse or your friends that you're close to. Doing some light errands is great. Prepping for the upcoming weekend with food and all that is great, but just being intentional. Like, don't let the weekend get away from you and just feel totally depleted when it's over. It's really easy to do if you're not intentional about just saying, like, it's okay to be a human being instead of a human doing right now. And a leadership tip for you, I would say, is schedule some prep time for yourself. You can call it soft prep time on Fridays to just plan next week's structure. Look ahead at the meetings you have, reflect on the achievements and the things that went really well this week, and set some goals, some realistic goals for the upcoming week. Sometimes I do this on Sunday too, which sometimes I'm like, not the best, but sometimes I work, I have big projects, and that's the only time I can fit it in. And it just makes everything feel better knowing what I'm walking into on Monday. So if it works for you, it works for you. All right. I hope that you enjoyed this sort of a little bit different style podcast for you today. It was a little bit more casual, where we just talked about the soft life trend and how we can really have softer systems at work to really incorporate our whole selves and just feel the sense of like peace and enjoyment and fulfillment, being in the moment, being intentional without this hustle culture. You can do it even if you have a really full and busy job. So this week's challenge is, I want you to pick one system, whether it's like a morning ritual or checking on your environment, doing a workspace declutter, or maybe even setting a boundary, and try it this week. Notice if you have reduced stress, if you're maybe a little bit more present, a little bit more lighthearted. I want you to email me. You can email me at kayla@kfaconsulting.org or follow me on Instagram at getorganizedatwork. And give me a shout out on there. Tag me in your stories. Let me know your soft life wins for this week. Let me know if you're listening. I would love to hear from you. All right. Thank you so much for listening. And if you wouldn't mind, while you're on the podcast app, leave me a rating or review. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. I would love it. It helps this podcast get out to more people. And I will see you in the next episode next week. Take care and have a great week and a great summer. Let's do it. Bye.